Welcome back to the Gallagher Shots YouTube channel. My name is Emil, and if you haven't noticed, there's no football to talk about, but we have got a bit of the season done. So let's take a look at Newcastle United's top 5 players of the season so far. So this is going to be taking a look at the standout performances of the 2019-2020 season, which currently sees Newcastle in a 13th league position as things stand, and a quarter-final of the FA Cup, which everyone was very much looking forward to. There's no point ranking each player this season because performances differed and everyone's had different amount of game time, so these are just the players who I think have been the most consistent season throughout. They're the players who have been the game changers. They're the ones who've made sure that we haven't just been relegation fodder, and they've given the largest contribution to a team that many wrote off at the start of the season. So let's crack on. At number 5, we've got Jonjo Shelvey, our number 8. He's the player that can divide opinion over his work rate, which is very problematic for a lot of Newcastle fans. But in terms of the threat that we offer when he is on the pitch, it's clear. He's he is the highest scorer for Newcastle in the league this year. He scored that stunning free kick against West Ham. That was an amazing match from him. Again, the Thunderbolt against Man City, which helped us gain a point at home to them. It's just remarkable the impact that he had in those games. And Shelby can be the difference in some games. Prime example was against Sheffield United. You know, he kept switched on and he took advantage of a very simple rule all footballers are taught, which is to play to the whistle. You saw him even doing that to everyone on the pitch. He was the one who took advantage of that one. Jonjo Shelvey has arguably had the best season of his Newcastle career to date. At number 4, we've got Federico Fernandez. Newcastle have been blessed with an abundance of competent centre-backs recently. Long gone are the days of worrying about a backline incapable of shutting shop. I'm looking at Bramble, O'Brien, Dabizas, not the best in the world, I know, but cult heroes all the same. And yeah, Fernandez, he was a mature addition to the squad. Many wrote him off when he signed for Newcastle from Swansea, but he's just been awarded a contract extension for his service. He's a calm and collected presence that we rarely see let his guard slip. He's shown many captain-like qualities, I think, when Lascelles has been absent. The Argentinian centre-back is also boasting 2 goals and an assist to his name. He was instrumental at the end against Everton when we had those last gasp chances and scored both of them. He's a key figure for the Spanish speakers as well. You've seen him having Christmas with Almiron. He's one of the most professional players on the pitch, in my opinion, so very well deserved. In at number 3, it is Miguel Almiron. It's very hard to not like Miguel Almiron, given his constant drive to succeed. We saw it when he arrived from the MLS, what he can bring to the team. A lot of outsiders didn't see it, but we know what he can do. Despite a few setbacks of being out of position at the start of the season, we've seen a massive resurgence in form, and he's running the game, this Paraguayan. Add to that the elation that exploded around St. James's Park this season when he finally scored his first goal against Crystal Palace. Almiron's now got 6 to his name. He's proven to be the talisman in the cup. Yes, it was against lower opposition, but that confidence just grows and grows. No matter how many times critics try to knock Miguel Almiron, every single game he gives it his all. So, well in, Miggy. Number 2, as he would say, is Allinson Maximon. If you wanted an example of what Newcastle fans look for in a player, look no further than Allinson Maximon. He's got it all wrapped up in his headband. He's an exciting player on the pitch and off the pitch, whether he's tying defenders in knots or if he's simply replying to a Sunderland fan with a well-timed gif on Twitter. San Maximon, he's burst into the hearts of many in black and white, and he's fast becoming a fan favourite, probably of all time for a lot of people. He's that player that many will say, do you remember when we had San Maximon? I hope that we're not just saying had Maximon, and it's always going to be have San Maximon. His trickery, his goals that he scored, Hollywood performances, his love for the city knows no bounds. He's been to the food bank. He's a real asset for Newcastle United, and we can't wait to see what happens with him next. And so, on to a few honourable mentions here. I think players who didn't quite make the top 5, but they've given some decent contributions this season. We'll start with Jamal Lascelles. This is mainly for his leadership. Yes, he's had his injury setbacks, but ups and downs, he always bounces back. He's the core of the team, and when he's missing, his lack of presence is truly felt. So, deserving of that one. Javier Manquillo, I'd like to say, is our most improved player this season. He arrived and we thought nothing of it, but his standard has risen so high. He's become one of our most reliable fullbacks, if not the best defensive fullback that we've got. A little bit more work on his delivery in the final third, and we could be seeing the makings of a really strong player there. And finally, Kieran Clark. He's going to get my unsung hero of the season so far. It was a throw-up between him and Federico Fernandez. He lost out only on the amount of appearances that he's had. He's a bit of an invisible wall at times, and 2 important goals this season. He was also instrumental in making sure that we saw Oxford off right at the death. Clark is going to be missed with his injury, but again, it's a bit of a blessing that this has all happened when it has happened. And finally, at number 1, it's Martin Dubrovka. We are so lucky that we are able to say that we are where we are as things stand, Newcastle in safety, but I doubt that we could be as calm if it weren't for our goalkeeper. The chants of old Martin Dubrovka, they've been louder than any other this year, and it's largely due to the amount of times that we've seen him pull off outstanding saves, bail us out of trouble. Dubrovka has made sure that we have closed the gates. He's had 9 clean sheets, 117 saves, which doesn't say a lot for us outside of the goalkeeper's area, but you know, he keeps the scores low, he gives us a chance, he keeps us in those games, and we might see the odd mistake creep in here and there. But as I mentioned, Dubravka's main letdown is the defensive errors and the defending in front of him. If any good comes from the season being cut short, similar to what I said about Clark, it's that his injury came when it did. So look on the bright side of that one. Thank you very much for watching. Subscribe to the Gallagher Shots YouTube channel. Like the videos. There's going to be a lot more content coming while the football is cancelled for the foreseeable. And take care.